The experimental education.
Namaskar to all the parents, and may have mercy of God on our all students, on every kids, children of the world in such a circumstances we are facing it. Students, we are meeting here on the screen after a long break, and that was due to I had to face a heartbroken incident with me, but it doesn't matter because the show must go on. जिंदगी चलते रहनी चाहिए. My dearly students of the 10th class, we are here to get start our syllabus, the language and literature of English, and we have to study the first story in the book First Light. This story was written by Isaac Asimov, A Letter to God. भगवान के पास एक चिट्ठी. I think it is a very favorable condition for us to prove the relevancy of this story in present circumstances. You know, the whole world is struggling against a unseen enemy, and in such a condition there is no one, there is nothing which can help us in situation except the God. And this story is also about a farmer who had to face a very devastating natural circumstances in which he had lost his everything. And in such a situation, he did not find anybody to help him except the God. So let us start with the story. It is about a farmer whose village was situated in the middle of valley on a high crest. He had sown corn in his fields, and the crops were fine. Every member of his family was rejoicing that they are going to have an abundant amount of corn from their fields. But what was lacking for the good crops? That his field needs a sower or a good rain that could add to the abundant amount of corn for his family. एक छोटी सी बारिश, एक हल्की सी बारिश की जरूरत थी और उस किसान का पूरा परिवार पूरे साल के अपने अर्निंग से खुश रह सकता था. बट देयर इज ए सेइंग, man proposes and God disposes. हम सोचते कुछ और है और हो जाता है कुछ और. And same thing happened to the farmer when he was sitting with his children and wife, and his elder children were working in his field. At the same time, a mountain of clouds had been seen in the sky, and the heart of the farmer was going to rejoice endlessly. And after a few minutes, falling from the sky, and the farmer said to her wife that those were not the droplets of the rain. Actually, those were the 10 cents and 5 cents coins. वो सिर्फ बारिश की बूंदे नहीं थी, बल्कि लक्ष्मी बरस रही थी. 10 रुपए और 5 रुपए के सिक्के बरस रहे थे. He thought so, क्योंकि उसके खेतों को इसकी सख्त जरूरत थी. And his field yielded the livelihood of his whole family for a year. But just after a few minutes, the gusty wind started to blow, and the small and big pieces of hailstones started to fall down from the sky. What a irony. The writer wrote about it. Actually, the farmer assumed that those were not the droplets of the rain. Those were the coins of the 5 cents and 10 cents. But actually, the hailstones were just resemble with those coins. And it is the duty of writer to reveal the irony of our nature. और कुछ ही समय के बाद the great sower of the hailstones completely covered the fields of corns. Even there was not a single leaves left on the trees. It was so devastating. When hailstones stopped, the farmer went in the middle of his cornfield and he saw that everything was completely destroyed. His fields were covered with the white snow of the hailstones. He came to in his family and anxious about the livelihood of his whole family. But in nature he was very positive, and you see the farmers are so positive. We cannot compare anybody to them. So he thought that if the God had taken his a year's livelihood, so it was he who could serve his family with his blessings. So he decided to write down a letter to God for help. So he went to the town, wrote down a letter to God that he had lost his everything. So he and his family had to face the question of survival. They had to go hungry throughout the years. So he requested to God to send him 100 pesos so that he could sow the next and also maintained his family for that year to survive anyhow. He wrote the letter, took the stamp and put it into the post box. When the postmaster found that letter and he saw on the face of letter the address was written as a letter to God, he burst into laughing. He took the letter to the head of the post office. The head of the post office was a very amiable, helping character in the story, and it was an amazing fact for them that ever they did not came through in their life, in their service in the post office. So the head of the post office opened the letter and looked at the content. When he read it, he again burst in laughing. But the faith the immense trust in God shown by the farmer, it moved his heart. And he decided to help the farmer anyhow. Then he provided a good amount of his salary. He also took help from his employees and also some aids from his friends. He collected and put it into envelope and asked the postman to make it sure so that the envelope must reach to the farmer. There may be question in your mind, why did he did such a helping hands to the farmer? Because he did not want to shake the faith of that farmer in the God. वो नहीं चाहता था कि ईश्वर में जो अगाध आस्था है, जो इमेंस फेथ है उस किसान का, वो खत्म हो, वो हिल जाए, ऐसा नहीं चाहता था पोस्टमास्टर. And we may see such kind of people in our daily lives. Students, we can see such sort of person who the postman was in our daily lives. Take an example of the present circumstances. You may see a number of people who are on the roads, into the streets, feeding the needy persons, feeding even the animals. What do they want to do? To have such a helpful hands. Actually, इंसान वही है जो दूसरों की तकलीफ से खुद को आहत महसूस करता है. And with his best effort, he try his everything to help the person. और यही हुआ पोस्टमास्टर के साथ. He was deeply moved by the immense faith of that innocent farmer in the God, and he decided to collect some money as a charity from his employers. He also dedicated a good part of his salary, and it added some amount from his other friends. Altogether, he collected 70 pesos, and then he put it into envelope, write down the address of the farmers, and put it in the hands of the postman. Next Sunday, the farmer again went to the post office to his nearest city. He found the envelope, came to his home and unwrapped it. And he found that there was only 70 pesos in that envelope. again he wrote down another letter to the God, and he mentioned in it that, "O God, you have sent me the 100 pesos, but I just found 70 pesos because rest of the amount was taken by the bunch of," and he referred all the staffs of that post office as a bunch of crooks. What a irony the writer made here. All the staffs of the post office, including the head of the office, contributed a good amount for the help of farmer, and the innocent farmer called them as a bunch of crooks. And here the story ended with a question mark. The question mark which must be in every little mind of yours, वो क्या होना चाहिए? क्या अच्छे आपने काम किए और उसके बदले में अगर आपको निगेटिव रिस्पांस मिलता है तो क्या हमें अच्छे काम छोड़ देना चाहिए? क्या आप ऐसा सोचते हैं? उन लोगों को क्या मिल रहा है जो दिन रात खतरे झेलते हुए, जोखिम उठाते हुए बाहर निकलकर लोगों की मदद कर रहे हैं? It is the true humanity, and we have to all instill this quality in us, and that's my last word. So students, अगली बार मैं PDF तैयार करके क्वेश्चन आंसर का ग्रुप पे डालूंगा, और जो कुछ लैकिंग्स है, जो कुछ चीजें आपको नहीं समझ में आ रही हैं, आप ग्रुप पे मुझसे शेयर कर सकते हैं. मैं और भी इसे आपके लिए बेटर बनाने की कोशिश करूंगा. यू ऑल आर द बेस्ट क्रिटिक्स ऑफ माइंड. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
The experimental education.